Hi everyone, Rabbi Rosen here. I hope all is well with you. I'm delighted to have an opportunity to share some thoughts with you before Shabbat. Friday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day. It's the day in which, according to a Dutch legend, the groundhog emerges from its home to see whether or not its shadow is visible. If the shadow is visible to the groundhog, trouble looms. We are stuck with another 6 weeks of winter. There is also a very beloved 1993 movie by the same name. In that film, Bill Murray plays a weatherman who is rather cynical, even caustic in his personality. But after he is stuck in a time loop in which he relives literally every detail of the same experiences day after day after day, he emerges eventually into a better version of himself. Starting from a place of selfishness, he gradually becomes kinder, wiser, and more generous, not in spite of that repetition, but because of it. I think that many of us experience the Groundhog Day effect in life in a variety of ways, sort of the sense of being stuck in a loop. In Jewish life, it's also a danger. Here we are this week reading the Ten Commandments, and we might imagine ourselves saying, here we go again. We've seen this before, we've read it before, we know what's involved in those commandments, so what's new here? But even if we are very, very familiar with the statements that have shaped so much of our civilization, it behooves us to have the same kind of transformation that Bill Murray has in the film. Revisiting that which is familiar, seeing what might be visible with yet another visit that might be transformative for us, is the call of this week. Each of those 10 statements is worthy of that kind of re-exploration. But one in my mind this year is especially rich in that regard. What does it mean not to bear false witness? We are not all called upon to testify in a court, so what might it mean for our lives, for our society, for our own personal experiences? It seems to me that more than any other time in our history, we realize that we are surrounded by falsehoods, by things that purport to tell us what reality is all about. From social media, from the kinds of things that AI, artificial intelligence, can create for us, we should doubt at least, whether or not the images before us, the kinds of things that are being stated as truths in the internet and in other venues, is really what is actually taking place. That commandment, not to bear false witness, I think calls upon us to do two things. First of all, to ask the question, is it really true? Is it true that the kind of person I should be should be shaped by social media? Are the facts that are presented before us really actually true? And what we should be doing is to strive to be witnesses for that which is eternal, which is true, where we find that the dignity of the individual person, where the striving for a better culture, a better life, a better society, we know that those truths are very, very necessary and are the key to a better existence. So, to have the privilege of revisiting this kind of experience in a constantly returning loop to restudy the foundations of our lives, the foundations of our tradition, is a very happy place to be. And I hope that when we do so, we will find our lives enriched and those around us in the very same way as well. Thank you for the time that you're spending with us today, and Shabbat Shalom.